Let's get right to our panel now. We're joined by Ari Melber of The Nation, MSNBC contributor Professor Michael Eric Dyson of Georgetown University, and Hogan Gidley, former communications director for Rick Santorum. Professor Dyson, if I might begin with you, sir, one of the great frustrations for some of the president's own supporters has been his willingness to reach across the aisle to try and work with Republicans despite their hatred for him. So do you think that he'll continue to try and do that in this speech tonight? Or do you think he's going to come out and say, you know what, it's been tough and there's no point continuing because these people don't want to cooperate?
Well, I think that as President Clinton made so brilliantly apparent last night, the attempt at bipartisanship characterized Bill Clinton, who triangulated many of his opponents, took Republican ideas and then deployed them. Mr. Obama, President Obama, initially trying to distance himself from a bit of that, but understanding the necessity of engaging in a certain kind of politics of compromise. But as you said, Martin, the reality is that President Obama has been frustrated in the effort to be bipartisan, and tonight he's got to solidify his base. He's got to tell the story that President Clinton so brilliantly told last night, that this economy was hemorrhaging jobs. It was losing its grounding for middle-class people. It was redistributing wealth upward. The tax cuts for the wealthy have only reinforced economic inequality in America. President Obama must tell why he is specifically the person who will lead us to an economic promised land that will be devoid of some of the sharp pangs of hurt and, I think, suffering that have been imposed in the name of Republican austerity. So tonight, Martin, is his turn to tell America why he is the man, and that means solidifying your base and telling America why you are the answer to their particular problems.
Wow. Well, Hogan, as you know, it's no easy task for us to keep track of all the falsehoods that keep coming from the Romney-Ryan ticket. That's why we need a smart guy like Bill Clinton to do it for us. So take a listen to this, Hogan.
Of the main reasons we ought to re-elect President Obama is that he is still committed to constructive cooperation. We all know that he also tried to work with congressional Republicans on health care, debt reduction, and new jobs. And that didn't work out so well.
Hogan, Republicans say that the president is divisive. He won't work with the other side. But doesn't the evidence honestly suggest that, as one of our guests said recently, that's another crap burger being served up by Mitt Romney?
Right. Well, one of the interesting things, I think, about Bill Clinton's speech, and it was phenomenal, by the way, I think he struck a very interesting chord with the American people. And I think he was able to do this because of his time as a governor. And that was to say, I'm sick of the fighting. We got past all the fighting when I was president. And, of course, he's going to put it squarely on the backs of Republicans as though it's all our fault, which I don't think it is. But I understand the speech went really well when he went down that road. And, of course, he's able to say that because as president, he did work across the aisle. He was able to get things done. And governors, most politicians from the gubernatorial ranks, understand what it takes to move policy forward in the state because you're dealing with legislators who typically don't agree with you on everything. And you've got to go into those districts. You've got to go into the small coffee shops, and you have to sell your message to those people, and you have to hear those stories. So there is a bigger incentive for the governors out there to work with people. So when they get to the national stage, as President Clinton did, it was very easy for him to understand it and fall right into that role. President Barack Obama, as you guys know, wasn't really enthusiastic about working with others when he was in the Senate. I mean, I think his disdain for the process has been pretty evident. I think if he does get reelected, if he gets reelected, he will work with the other side because he will want to build his legacy.
But Brother Gidley, you had people on the Republican side refusing to acknowledge Obama's presence there. I know you. Let me just say this. Sitting next to Brother Gidley, the reality is he had the most unprecedented level of animus directed against him. They vowed the day he was elected to not work with him. I think it's apparent that the Republicans have engaged in every measure of resistance and obstruction that one can imagine. Brother Melber, I just had to say that.
Ari Melber, please.
Yes, sir. No, and I know that you're next to him, but I can hear him too, and what I hear is a very misleading statement. The fact is Barack Obama did work with Republicans in the Senate. He worked with Dick Lugar on disarmament. He reached out to John McCain about money in politics. They didn't always agree and vote the same way, but it's factually inaccurate to suggest that he didn't do that in the Senate. More importantly, he
didn't do it. I said he had a disdain for it, and that's been well documented.
A disdain. All right. Well, I'll give you that. That's an interpretation. But the facts are that he did do it on the issues I mentioned. Let's go, though, to his first term here as president. I think what Barack Obama is going to do tonight is get up on the stage and say, it's not over, it's hard out there, but what we are doing is fundamentally working when we're allowed to do it. And if you elect not only Barack Obama, but more Democrats, you're going to have less obstruction, more jobs, more stimulus, a stock market that is rebounding. That's not an immediate job solution, but as these companies see their stock prices go up, they do have more wherewithal to hire. And if you do government jobs, you see more hiring at the state and local level. So that is the clear contrast. I think that's what you're going to see tonight. I'll tell you the other last thing here in the hall. A lot more crowded than last night at this hour. People are pretty pumped.
Okay. Hogan, I've got another clip for you from President Clinton. I'd like you to listen to this. Here it is.
Sure.
They also want to block grant Medicaid and cut it by 1/3 over the coming 10 years. A lot of folks don't know it, but nearly 2/3 of Medicaid is spent on nursing home care for Medicare seniors who are eligible for Medicaid. It's going to end Medicare as we know it.
Hogan, when Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan say that they can cut Medicaid without cutting Medicare for current seniors, as you know, that's simply untrue because so much of Medicaid covers the cost of nursing home care for current seniors. So, again, I have to ask you, isn't this another side of lies with the crap burger at the beginning?
Well, it's a hard sell. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Bill Clinton articulated it very well. And look, he was my governor before he was your president. I know how he does. I know how he is. He's very good at pushing that message. And last night was no different. He was able to reach out to those white middle-class voters, that sliver of independents out there, and say, look, this is what we're about. This is what we want to do. And the Republicans are going to have a time if they're going to have to go up against Bill Clinton a bunch of times between now and
Martin, isn't it interesting that the Republicans are now nostalgic for Bill Clinton when they opposed him tooth and nail when he was in office.
Right.
They nailed him to the cross. They celebrate his resurrection. But you killed him.
But hey, both Romney and Ryan and President Barack Obama are both leaning on Bill Clinton to try to get them elected.
One sec. Ari, you wanted to throw your lot in as well, please.
Sure. I think it goes back to the first point you raised, Martin, which is the idea of suggesting a happy, open-minded political party. What Bill Clinton did last night, and what I do expect Barack Obama to do tonight, is to say not only here's how we've reached out and here's why swing voters should trust Democrats to work with the other party when possible and to lead when not possible, but he's going to show that with the excitement in the crowd. I mean, you got Bill Clinton with George W. Bush and Ronald Reagan references, and he had Democrats clapping. And what that shows people at home is, well, the crowd here really is ready to work together on policies where there is agreement. I think that's a strong message, and that's what people at home are looking for if they haven't made up their minds.
The passion of Ari Melber, the erudition of Professor Michael Eric Dyson, and the sartorial elegance of Hogan Gidley. Gentlemen, thank you.